So, Lon, great to have you here. Thank you so much for
Oh,
taking the time to share your experience here. I am really excited to hear what you're going to say here, as you know. Yeah, just ask you some questions. We'll have a nice little conversation here. So, the first one, I think people are always interested to know, so people understand. Like, I'm not paying you. You're someone who did the program like anyone else here. And look, I have people do this from a business perspective, a relationship perspective, I mean, everyone here at the end of the day is going through their own challenges and they're here for a final outcome, which is to feel a lot better and have a lot more emotional control in whatever challenges they're dealing with. But for you specifically, a lot of first question, what brought you my way?
yeah, good question. So for me, I think I was coming at a whole life perspective. At that time, I was going through a really challenging time in my life, which had been going on for a couple of months, and I tried a lot of things, and I think I randomly came across a post of yours or maybe a video. I think it was on Facebook. I can't actually really remember, but um, it was very synchronistic when it happened, and I watched it, and I thought, okay, well, I literally don't know what else to try. So this is just something else that I've been guided to. So I'm gonna have a look at this. And then so I think we had some messages or a phone call, and
Mhm.
I was also pretty fed up at the time, because I just felt like I wasn't going anywhere. And I think I recall in our conversation, I think I sent you an email of all these people that I'd kind of followed and studied. I'm like, hey, look, I already heard what all of these people have to say. So what do you have to say that's any different, you know? And
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
and I was
I
really
remember.
like,
Yeah,
gosh,
I remember.
and I, and I had to
I
give
know
money to it.
I know you had a hard time believing me. This is a little bit different than what you've done.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, who is this? Who is this guy who says that that he's the best? How can he say that he's the
Well,
best? You know?
the best of this one thing is I have a specific thing I focus
Yes,
on.
yes.
This one thing, okay? Just for
Yep.
anyone listening here,
Yep.
I'm definitely a student for life. I'm in my own flux of learning. It is one
That's very
thing I'm
true.
pretty fucking good.
Yes. So at that time, yeah, I was really, really curious.
Mhm.
And I think I was quite straightforward and quite blunt at the start with my communication because
Mhm.
yeah, I yeah, was really clear that I wanted the real deal.
Mhm.
Um and and then of course there was the financial aspect which I wasn't actually mentally prepared for
Mhm.
at that time, because I'd never made like an investment like this before.
Mhm.
Um so so yeah, I think then what really struck me in our first conversations was, what came across was really maybe like a tone of conviction in you and also your commitment. So I, I really liked that um you showed your commitment in your communication,
Mhm.
and that you kind of stuck with it and you stuck with the same message. And so I couldn't really find anything to make me think, okay, well,
Mhm.
there's reason for me to like really question it. It just made me think that, okay, well, actually, there's something here that I need to explore. And I don't know, in the end, I just did a process of automatic writing and it just came out, well, from my intuition that I really need to explore this and take the jump. So I did. And actually, I really, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I remember I really felt that if you ask like when did I start, feeling better? I really started feeling better from that first contact. I
Mhm.
think in the first conversation, I was I was laughing. I can't remember now. I was laughing in our first conversation, and you were like, if I were you, I wouldn't be laughing. You
Yeah,
know?
well, yeah. Look, emotion creates emotion. I want people to have the right attitude. It's a workout. It is what it is. So yeah, I mean, I always appreciate your sense of humor. You know that, Lon. But yeah, I always want to make sure people understand. At the end of the day, we're doing a specific process every day, and it does require that discipline. This is fun once you get into it, but I always want to make sure people come into the right attitude. as far as like, okay, there is something very practical I'm gonna do every day. So that's why I say that to people.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
You
But
especially get
I think
that
I was
now.
laughing because
Yeah.
I get that now. Yeah. But at the time, you know, I I really felt like, okay, I was laughing because I felt positive. I felt like I think I have hope in this. There's something here and it's something different and doing something completely different. Like I'm making an investment instead of like dabbling here, there,
Mhm.
um, you know, doing things a little bit, going a little bit halfway. And so yeah, I think I felt that from the start. So that
Wonderful.
was
So it
that
sounds
was
like you
really
answered
good.
my
And
next question, which is what made you decide to work with me once we spoke? Good, good, good. Yeah. So I mean, I was like, look, I appreciate, and for anyone listening here, I know this is not something everyone does here. I know that I'm essentially a stranger to you or that person. I love what I do. I mean, I don't have any problem earning someone's trust, starting small if we have to. It's not a problem. All I ask is, and you had a great attitude from the very beginning, Lon. All I ask is from somebody be serious, be action oriented, and make it easy to work with you. And you were super great from the beginning. So I think you already kind of answered my second question, which was, after you and I had a bunch of back and forths. Eventually, you decided to obviously work with me, and now I understand why. Your answer was a little unique, which I knew it was going to be, as far as that journaling, that writing, try and connect to that, that guidance. I never asked you this before, actually. Have you ever actually read that book, The Celestine Prophecy? I don't know if I've asked you that before. Have we had this conversation before? Um,
no, but tell me, what is this
you've,
book?
you've never read the Celestine Prophecy?
No.
You should totally read it. It's totally up your alley. It's really about a guy that literally surrenders to life and says, you know what? I'm gonna let go of my own ego. I'm not gonna try and control what happens, and I'm gonna let life dictate like a river my flow. It's super up your alley. You'll love it. And then you'll really appreciate, well, you and I connecting here. This is part of your river, your journey. Yep.
Yeah, well, I just got
You'll love the
goosebumps when
book.
you said
Trust
that.
me. You'll read it, and yeah, trust me, you'll read it. You'll tell me about it later. But that's totally up your alley.
Yeah.
It's one of the few books I've actually
So,
read twice.
mm, so we talk about synchronicities and things like that, and manifestations. And I've told you this already, Lance. So I just want to say it again that like when I started the course and I started hearing what you were saying, and even down to the examples that you were giving and the people you were mentioning, like Joe Dispenza and Abraham Hicks, and
Mhm.
people that are very familiar with. And then even the small examples that you had, throughout the course, like with the Avengers and Star Wars, it was all just so
Yeah.
resonated with me. I just felt like all of these like different pathways were like converging into one,
Mhm.
going into you and then coming back to me, presented in like a different format in your unique way. And I just felt like, well, this, I was just meant to be here. I was meant to get this
Mhm.
kind of next step from you. And it's just like the greatest manifestation for me up until that stage. And, I've been listening to Abraham Hicks for a long time,
Mhm.
you know, and I, I understand like the message, but I've never been able to really achieve what Abraham it teaches, which is basically like become like unconditional, like be not
Mhm.
conditional, you know, and to find that that we have everything that we need already inside. And I understand this, but I've never been able to kind of really achieve this in a way uh, myself. In my um, like a week before we connected, I mentioned to you this before, I think, that I had a Q&A about what I sent a question to Abraham in this kind of
Mhm.
this live session, and Abraham answered like basically you just gotta find a way to feel good regardless of
Mhm.
your situation. Otherwise, there's always going to be something that you're going to be conditional about. Your life's going to be conditional. There's always going to be something breaking your heart. And of course, that message coming to me again, and I'm like, yes, I know, but okay, so how do I do that?
Yeah, yeah.
How do I do that? And and really, like, a week later, I mean, what you teach is really this, it's really a way just to actually do this in practice,
Yep.
you know? So yeah, what more can I say?
No, that's
That's,
great. And
you know,
yeah, you, I've gotten a lot of really nice feedback over the years, nice compliments. But the most beautiful one I ever got was from you. That one WhatsApp message. I'll never forget that one. That was beautiful. That was pure, like I was your greatest manifestation. I mean, I when I read that, I mean, I was kind of floored. That was really amazing. So thank you for that. I'll never forget that. That was the most beautiful compliment I've ever received. I've got some good ones.
yeah, I mean,
That one was number one.
yeah,
Only
yeah,
because it's also so, at this point here, I'm into a lot of things beyond what I teach here. So for the what I'm really striving for, we're all striving for long term. That was such great verbiage along those lines. It's really about manifesting our own greatest lives, right? And be able to really be truly in control of the way we feel. I mean, feeling great for the sake of feeling great, regardless. There's no better reward than that. On that note, a side note, when I see you on for everyone listening to this call here, you can ignore this part, but when I see you on the alumni call in about 32 minutes, bring up the Abraham Hicks stuff and I have some really cool like resources for you. Okay.
great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know how to describe like my experience, that experience to you,
well,
like sitting
did you
here.
enjoy it? I think that's really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, I
Did you feel
enjoyed it.
better? How about this one? Here's a good way to experience it. Look, Lon, everyone comes to me, everyone that works for me is going through a challenging time, whether it's business, relationship, family. Nobody's working me because things are hunky dory, right? So they decide to work with me. We work together. So the easiest way to describe for the people listening here, because right now there are people listening on this call here that are going through a tough time, just like you went through. Okay, so the most important thing for them to listen to is knowing that you went through a tough time just like them. And it's sooner than most people think. You can create a whole different life, the way you feel, the way you speak, the way you show up. So here's the most important question here. Lon, how do you feel about your regarding challenges, and we all have them, whether it's relationships, work, whatever that has to be? How do you feel about your ability to handle those ongoing? How do you feel about your life ongoing in the future?
Yeah, it's onwards and upwards. What does Buzz Lightyear say? To infinity and beyond.
Yeah.
Like I really feel that I have a foundation, like a structure, or like a key. It's not like everything is perfect, that's just not that's not even the goal. Actually, it's not realistic. It's not possible. It's not actually the goal. Um, right now, but I have like a really good structure, and no matter what I learn from now, it's like I'm just adding like new pieces of information to
Hmm.
the same structure that I already have. And
Hmm.
that structure what doesn't it evolves, but essentially it doesn't change because it's a very basic, simple process,
Yep. Yep.
you know? And
For anyone listening, by the way, that doesn't mean you're gonna be able to figure this out by your fucking self. Do not think that's gonna happen. It just means once you have it, you got it. That's what Lana's saying there. I don't want anyone to watch this and think they're gonna figure out themselves.
yeah, no, no, just stop trying to figure it out yourself. Just come and get this. you know, it, I mean, I tried to figure it out myself for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you kind of need someone that's already done it, and not only just have done it, but has a clear way of teach a process of teaching it
Mm-hmm.
so that they're actually transmitting it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a which takes time as well. It takes time, and it takes real time actually to build
Sure.
that so that you actually practice it and you come back and you get the feedback. You need someone who's already done it and knows how to transmit it to you and can check that you're doing it right, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
then once you have it, you have it. Like it's so precious. It's a key, to
Yeah.
unlock so many things. Now, I my life's always been about learning, and I'm still continuing on that journey. That hasn't changed, but I have a different foundation on which I can put that in and really kind of extract the essence of what I want, and how to kind of, get what I want out of it,
Mhm.
yeah. So I think that's really nice. And I was speaking to Julie on that too, and she feels exactly the same way, that we have like this structure, this foundation.
That's all my hope for everybody. It's like, you know what? I can be good regardless. I'm not at the mercy of who's in my life, not in my life, situations. This whole thing, and we'll get even better at it, is a true declaration of independence from the external world permanently. Doesn't mean you don't have challenges, don't mean you have, and for anyone listening here, I'm not saying you won't have certain thoughts or feelings or certain challenges. I didn't say that fucking one. I just said you'll have like Lon, like you're saying, like almost like a master key where as long as you stick with it, you wiggle the key around, it'll eventually open the door. You can keep going forward. And that's real freedom. And that's my hope for everyone. It's like you come in here and say, you know what? I'll never go through this ever again. Sure, I might have challenges. I might have tough times. I still got those. I didn't say otherwise here, but it's like, you know what? You really have a true master key, which as long as you stick with it, you'll always move forward and be able to open up that door every time. Because the most valuable resource in your life is your ability to control your emotions. Control your emotions. No matter what challenges you have, better conversations. Control your emotions. You can make better decisions, get more stuff done. It's for everything. So, like that master key, as long as you stick with it, you'll always keep moving forward. And that's really my hope for everybody. No matter at the end of the course, no matter what happens in that person's situation, it's like, you know what? I feel really fucking great about my future and that I really can handle anything, and I do mean anything that comes my way. That's my hope, and that's awesome to hear because Julie's not done a video testimony for me at this point here, but it's good to hear that from you. So yeah, that's wonderful. That's what I hope for everybody.
Yeah. And I want to mention the speed at which also I notice changes, especially looking back, like the speed of progress and change. It's really, I would have thought that that's not possible, but now I know it's
Yeah.
possible. And I know I'm a different person. I mean, I'm still a work in progress. I still have challenges. I still have, challenging days. I still have all the range of emotions. I still have them. I'm a work in progress.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's not the same. I do not feel the same. And it's like for example, I'll give one small example, maybe with, uh, feeling negative emotions where I felt before, it just seems so solid,
Mm-hmm.
like the basis of feeling, having an anxious moment or having a sad moment, the basis of which would feel so solid. But
Mm-hmm.
now I realize that if I go through that experience, have a challenging day like that, actually that solid basis is not there. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it doesn't really exist. It's not, yeah, it's just not the basis is not solid. It's completely changeable.
Yep.
It's totally fluid, and it really depends on me. And I can change it in a second. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's that that all that is possible. All that and more is possible.
Yeah. And for
No joke.
anyone listening here, I like to overmanage expectations. As Lon is saying, even if it's not a second, even if it's a minute, even if it's a fucking hour, you'll know you're handling things way quicker than you would have done normally. You'll be amazed to know that I'm not saying some days are not, I'm not saying there's certain days are not hard, right? I didn't say that one. We do live in the real world. We don't live in a fucking monastery or a fucking forest somewhere. Even if that challenge did last more than a second or a few seconds or a few minutes, even less than an hour or two, you'll know it was way quicker. You got past it way quicker than you would have done normally. You'd be pretty surprised to know you can get your hand raised like Captain America, the male or female version, every day by the end of the day if you stick with it. But some days are a little harder. So I just make sure anyone listening here, some of these challenges do last. You have to work through it, use the process for a few seconds, a few minutes, or maybe a few hours. But this is about control, not perfection. True progression, true ability to know that you can get past anything, and I mean anything, in a real measurable way by the end of the day. Maybe not instant, but at least knowing that at the end of the day, you say, you know what, pretty fucking good considering. And that's what puts a smile on your face. That's your freedom. And Lon, you'll only get better at that. You'll only get better at that. Okay. You'll have challenges. All great superheroes need challenges, but you'll get better at it. it's only, you're still only in the beginning. I mean, I'm fucking shocked. I mean, I'm talking about myself here, but I'm just amazed how I've been doing this for over, 10 years here. I'm moving faster than ever. That doesn't mean I don't have far to go. I still got ways to go. I mean, look, we're all in our own evolution, right? But I mean, I'm just amazed how I'm moving faster than ever, as will you. So, but the journey never ends. You're always going to be, a living document, like a student for life, always in flux, always in growth, and that never changes. But it's super cool to experience how you get to move faster and faster, and you realize like, wow, I got so much more to even continue growing. It never ends. It's like a game. It's kind of incredible. So, but yeah, wonderful. Yeah, this is only the beginning, Alon. You've as great as you've done in a relatively short period of time, you've only scratched the surface of where this goes, ultimately.
Yeah, I really get a sense of that this is kind of the beginning.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I mean, it's fun. I thought it was funny every time you mentioned like, you don't live in a monastery or the forest, but I have done that. I
Mhm.
have spent a lot of time in monasteries in the forest, and it's always found it funny when you mention that.
Mhm.
Um, and and I'm yes, I have challenges. So I'm going through a challenge at the moment, actually, but I mean, the process is like it's like your best friend.
Yeah.
It's like the best friend. It's like the best friend that you can turn to.
It's
It is
amazing.
the best friend to turn to.
It's the
This
ultimate
resource.
support system. Ultimate support
It's
system.
the ultimate support system. This this best friend that you have that's inside you that you can turn to any moment.
Yep.
And I still have challenges like, yes, and even if it takes me, some time, but I know that when I when I get through that, phase, I'm at the end of it, I know I'm in a different place than I would have been without that practice. I'm just I'm in a different place, and that gives me a lot of hope then for whatever comes next.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm very, very
What matters?
grateful.
That's your freedom.
Yeah. It's really, really amazing. For anyone who's considering or, concerned about the finances, I think maybe for a lot of people that's a common thing at the start.
Sure.
I would say like if you have the money, just it's a no-brainer. Just do it. Just do it for yourself. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah,
If you have the money,
I'll give
use
you
it.
pennies on the
All
dollar.
good. For me, I actually didn't have the money.
Mhm.
I didn't have the money and I kind of went to debt. But I have no regrets. I would do this again. I would even I would work for you, Lance, if I had to. I would go to where you are, wash your dishes for
I
you
will keep I
for
will
six
keep that in
weeks
mind.
if I needed to get this. It's just so valuable. And I just really appreciated your delivery. And I enjoy the thing is that I enjoyed the process. It
Mhm.
wasn't like a course. I
Yeah.
have homework. It wasn't like that. Like, it was an enjoyable process. I looked forward to it. It energized me. It made me laugh, you know, and just going through the journey with others as well was just such a precious thing to actually have a shared experience, not just with you, but with the other people who were going at the same time. And watching the resources that you had was really wonderful, and it's just a lot of laughter, and also you taught me how to swear.
You're welcome. You're welcome. By the way, I Julie on the call earlier today. I told you I had her on the call, and there was another person who's like a little early in the program, and Julie kind of chimed in and said how when she started the program, she wasn't really too fond of that stuff, but how she appreciates it, how she enjoys it now. She actually made that. Yeah, I mean, I'll send you remind me. I'll send you a link to the replay from today, and you'll watch. It's nice to watch Julie's appreciation for. There is a method. There's a method to the madness. But remind me. I'll send you a link to that. I think
Oh,
you'll
that's
enjoy our
great.
comments. So yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's really funny hearing you swear.
For anyone listening, by the way, I'm not using strong language or shock value. There's a method to the madness. You appreciate that later.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate the way that you use the swear words, you know. It's the way that you use it, and I totally get it. And it's really actually it's encouraging. This is coming from me, a person that hasn't sworn like my whole life, and and I don't, my friends, my family, we don't swear.
Mhm.
We just don't have that in our vocabulary as a way of communicating. But now I do.
Good, good. And it's enjoyable.
It's enjoyable. That's right.
Yeah, it's fucking
So yeah,
enjoyable. Good.
so yeah, I appreciate it so much. I just, yeah, I don't have the words to express it, you know. This this practice will always be a part of me, a part of my life, and a part of how I live my life. So you will always be a part of me and how I live my life. So I'll always be grateful for that. And there's a song, it's called it's a song by Citizen Way called Bulletproof. When I heard the lyrics, I'm like, well, I just dedicate that song to you, Lance, because and the practice, because the practice is something that yeah, the lyrics, it's like before I lived in fear, now I don't need to live in fear because I have this shield that makes me bulletproof,
Mhm.
because of this, yeah, and because of you, it's I can be bulletproof now. The lyrics of that song is just like so spot on. It was just so encouraging to hear it.
Good, good.
I think it's actually
You got your own theme song for the practice.
this kind of is my theme song, I think, and yeah, I'm just running through the song. So anyone listening, just look up the lyrics, Citizen Way, Bulletproof. I think maybe I think it's actually maybe a Christian song. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's meaning it, but when I have my own meaning when I listen to
Mhm.
um that song. So yeah. That of course that's on my morning music list, my
Good,
practice music list.
good, good. Wonderful. Yeah, make it. Yeah, I mean, this is not really for everyone listening here. Like, this is going a little bit beyond here, but yeah, continue to make it your own, Lon. Like, Bruce Lee says, take what's useful, discard what's not, make your own. The whole idea is this is meant to be your own practice going forward. You have the foundation, but you build it as your own. So wonderful. You find your own theme song. Mine is this a Rock of Ages. Like to me, that's the song that like really is like the theme of the practice. But you make it your own. That's wonderful. You should have your own theme song.
Yeah. I think maybe what I didn't understand before I did the course and what became clear was that, because I studied a lot and I'd heard a lot of theories and try and put it into practice with myself. But I think the really precious thing as well about your process is that it's actually a process. It's a practice. It's not there is theory there, there is theory there, but it's really about the practice from beginning to end. It's like you're taking our hand and showing us like a real coach, you
Mhm.
know, practice this. Now go out in the field, go and do that,
That's
and come
right.
back
And
and
find your way. Right, right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
and then
That's right. You got it. Find out
yeah,
find out what you're really capable of. Have experiences, go beyond the words and really experience and feel there's something different that that you're first learning how to activate now. That's right. Have your own experiences and see feel for yourself. Yeah.
and that is just so precious. Like that is kind of rare, like as adults, we don't kind of do that. It's like kind of thinking of little kids like going out into a soccer field and with their coach and things like that.
Yeah.
So, I think, um, yeah, being open to having that experience, it just, I mean, you get so much benefit from that. So yeah, I think that's maybe what I also didn't understand. And now I know that's what I really needed. I really needed a coach to go
Mhm.
and take me out on the field and go, it's done like this, do it like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
this,
yeah.
go and do
Good.
it.
Good. So on that
So
wonderful note,
yeah,
what's that?
not just theory, not just listening to theory and then trying to put into practice myself and
Mhm.
not really just going around in circles. So
No
yeah.
more circles. straight path, but a beautiful
Yes.
path along the beach, not like landmines. Straightforward to where you want to go. Beautiful scenery along
Yeah.
the way.
Yes. Yeah.
So, on that note, for anyone listening here, if you'd like to discover your path to a much better way to control the way you feel, I'm not saying again, I'm not going to make any robots here. You know, we live in a human being world here. I love that you kind of threw in there that, I mean, for any of you out there that are thinking about going to a monastery for the next 6 months and trying to, you have someone here on this call here that's done that. That's not going to get you where you want to go. You need a practical way to strengthen what has always been biologically available. If you really want to control the way you feel, you have to dress your brain for what it is, a different kind of muscle. And if you want that step-by-step workout, if you're going through a tough time, I don't have any problem earning your trust. We can start small. I really love what I do. Let's have a conversation. I'll show you what you're really capable of. Remember, I didn't say this is easy. I just said it's worth it. So, anyone who'd like to explore this other avenue here, you can get a little bit more information if you want. Go to my website, www.refocus, refocus, on power.com. If you'd like to have a real conversation, you can then go to refocusonhappiness.com/now. You can book a call me. I'll ask you if you're serious about this here, because if you just want general information, go to my website. But if you go on my website, also on a site for anyone listening here, I do have a book, Refocus on Power, on Amazon. And you're all smart, so you understand. I would never ever mention my book unless I knew if you read the book, it's going to open up your eyes to what you've been missing here. But I will say here, the book does not hold a candle to the program. The book does not talk back to you. The book is only a glimpse. So if the book does something for you here, you're going to want to have a real conversation with me if you're serious about this here, because like Lon just told you, it's a different world to actually have a coach giving you personalized direct feedback. Okay. So, but I do have that book on Amazon. If you want to get started there, that's fine. But ultimately, if you'd like to have a conversation, you can go to refocusonhappiness.com/now, and you can book a call me and we can have a conversation. Again, for everyone here, I know most people are not going through most people who would consider doing this are going through a tough time. We can start small, or if you have any problem earning your trust. I love what I do. All I ask is make it easy to work with you. Okay, and that's it. And Lon, you were super fantastic. You were amazing. And again, you gave me one of the best compliments I've ever gotten from anyone. I mean, so yeah, we keep growing for life. Anyway, I'm going to see you in about 10 minutes. For everyone else here, if
Yep.
you'd like to learn more about
Yep.
information about the program, go to those websites and have a great day. And Lon, thank you so much for sharing your experience here. And
Okay,
yeah,
no worries. See you soon.
sounds
Bye.
good.